What up, y'all? It is your boy Kev on stage. I want to introduce you to my good friend Michelle Lang, now Michelle Lang Raymond. Congratulations, you were married this year.
This COVID year, yes.
Over the year, in the midst of a pandemic, God sent you a man. Michelle Lang, huh?
And he walked him right on in.
He walked him in. If you guys don't know, Michelle Lang is a great friend of mine from way back in my Seattle, Tacoma days. I feel like, Michelle, did you manage me for a little while?
We thought about it. We tried something a little bit.
Okay, because I remember one of my first official LA gigs, real ones, was as a result of Michelle Lang. I came and did a youth conference.
It was UYWI, Urban Youth Workers Conference.
That's what it was.
Specific.
UYW. I was so very happy.
You killed that.
I did. I had a great set. Listen. It was really good because my first set in LA, I absolutely stunk it up. So I was kind of nervous to do it again.
No, you killed it. And I don't know if you remember, we like really had to convince them to let you come do
I remember.
Because it was a youth workers conference and they already had their agenda. And I was like, no, seriously, you guys need to listen to this guy. And they're like, Michelle. And I was like, trust me.
Which is what a good manager does. A good manager gets you actual gigs and pushes for you, which Michelle did. Michelle was also in our play, Till Death Do Us Part. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Why Lie You Could Have Told Me. No, wait.
Till Death.
That was actually the full name. No, it was Why Lie, right?
No, it was Till Death.
It was Till Death.
Yeah.
Okay, it was Till Death. Okay. So we've been great friends in theater and in life. And now she has helped produce a reimagining of 12 Angry Men. And I just want you to explain, because it's very different in a lot of ways as a result of the pandemic. So I want you to have an opportunity to let the people watching know about the work and all there is to know.
Well, since you left us, in this lonely Pacific Northwest, Kev, we had to carry on without you. And so I started a theater called Acts on Stage. We opened a brand new theater in the midst of this pandemic. And we were gonna do a traditional, play. Our opening show was gonna be a traditional model play. But as we got closer into August and September and the world was not opening back up, we're gonna have to pivot. We're gonna have to pandemic pivot, as we say. And so we decided to film our first production at a really high quality and then offer it to the people virtually. And so our first production is called 12 Angry Men. And like you said, it's a courtroom classic. It's a classic play, but we've reimagined it in our own unique way. Long story short, it's just like every other courtroom play, right? Where you have a defendant who's on trial. And then you argue the case. But what's different about 12 Angry Men is you argue the case in the jury room. But in our play, our jurors are not just arguing the guilt or innocence of the defendant, they are arguing about the American justice system itself, about racism, prejudice, indifference, manhood, who's responsible for community. And so for the first time ever anywhere, we're doing this play with an all-Black male cast. It was done in '57 with a white cast, and then it was done again in '97 with a multicultural cast. And now we've checked around and we've done the research, and for the first time anywhere ever, we're doing it with an all-Black male cast.
Isn't that something that in the year our Lord and Savior 2020, things with all-Black casts are still being done for the first time? Like, no one has done it or thought of it or pulled it off.
And I don't know why, because it completely talks about issues that really do matter, especially the communities of color. But one of the things that I've been telling a lot of organizations that we've been talking to about this piece is this is a great way for you to talk about racism and prejudice and the justice system without the obvious racist in the room being the white guy.
Yeah.
Right. I was like, for once, you can talk about these issues, right, without feeling like you're the villain, but actually just talking about the issue itself. So I don't know why nobody else has thought to do it this way, but.
So what gave you the, because this is it's a play, but it's being consumed like a movie, right?
Yeah.
So what gave you the idea to do it like that?
Well, when we decided to pivot to do it as a film, or we're calling it a theatrically staged film, right?
Okay.
Same thing as like what Hamilton was. Hamilton was on the stage, so it was staged for theater, and then they filmed it. I think Hamilton might have had 25 different cameras.
Yeah, they had a lot.
Yeah, so we're just 12 cameras, so sorry, y'all.
12 Angry Men, 12 cameramen.
There you go. So when we decided to do it this way, Kev, we were like, it has to be good, right? It has to be a high quality. It can't be whack. It can't be your cousin's version. It can't be, we hope the restream, no offense to cousins, but it can't be that. It has to be great. And so when we decided that we were gonna do it as a broadcast, we just decided that it had to be top notch. And so, and this is our first production, so we wanted it to be good for the people, you know what I'm saying?
Of course.
We wanted the people to be proud of it, so we just made the jump to go all out.
I love, excuse me, I'm sorry about that. And how will people be able to watch it?
Yeah, real easy. You just go to our website, axonstage.com/12angrymen. You can just go to the website and check us out. But if you want to go to the direct broadcast link, it's axonstage.com/12angrymen.
So you've been in
Did I say it was free? Did I tell people it was free?
You didn't say it was free.
And it's completely free.
So how did you decide to do that? Because obviously you spend a little bit of money on it. You know what I'm saying? You trying to make your money back, trying to have people donate? What you talking?
We spent some coin, brother. I will tell you. We spent these lights were not free.
Oh.
These cameramen were not cheap. But again, it was important for us to do it right. And we decided to do it for free for two reasons. One, like I said, we're a new theater, and we just didn't really have the capacity to do like some big selling engine. Like we just didn't have that. Mm-hmm. But the real reason that we did it, that we decided to broadcast for free, is because we felt like it was more important for people to watch it and for people to be having these conversations than it was for us to just try to make back some coin. We're in a blessed position this year where we're able to start. And so we just felt like it was more important to get the conversation going for people than it was to worry about that. We're gonna let God take care of that part. Now, God can take care of that part through the people that watch. There's definitely ways to donate to Acts on Stage, and we invite you to do that. But you don't have to do that to watch. We just want you to watch, and if possible, host a viewing party, virtual or in your house, and then have a conversation.
So what kind of conversations are you hoping that are sparked as a result? Because I know you just mentioned you did it on purpose to take the race element as far as like white jurors about a black person or a brown person out, or even black jurors about a white person. So what are you hoping the people who watch it, take away and kind of begin to kind of like gnaw on?
So you know what? So in 2014, Kev, when we heard that there would be no indictment in the Mike Brown case out of Ferguson, Missouri, back in 2014, I started noticing people from different demographics having a really hard time having conversations, right? Full disclosure, I'm a Black woman. I live between Seattle, Washington, and Portland, Oregon, two of the whitest cities in America. And I was working at what was a white institution at the time, and I was going to a church that leaned that way as well. And I was watching a lot of people honestly have terrible conversations about race, racism, justice. People that I really liked, I'm gonna be real, I'll keep it real. People that I really liked were having horrible conversations about Black Lives Matter and All Lives Matter. And I was like, I don't know if we love the same Jesus. I don't know. I don't know how this is possible. And so I started this thing called the Art of Tough Talks to help people use art to have conversations. Truth be told, you do it in your work too. It's just a little bit different, right? Yeah. And so essentially, we basically staged, at the time, we were just staging one-act plays and then asking the audience to have conversations about the issue through that lens of art. And so 12 Angry Men is really just a long version of the Art of Tough Talks, where if people go to our website, they'll see not only the program for the play, but they'll also see a discussion guide that has like a whole bunch of questions where you can use the play to talk about things like microaggressions and anger and hope and toxic manhood and whose responsibility is it. So we created this whole toolkit to help people have conversations. And again, that's even that's free for people to download and use that to just generate conversation.
I love that. And I love, like, theater has always been around. The popularity has changed. I feel like Hamilton has brought back, or not brought back, but brought some people into theater who had not had much familiarity with it before. Why do you concentrate? Because you've worked in other mediums as well, also musical artists and, all types of stuff. Why do you still think theater is still so powerful?
I think theater and the arts, period, are powerful. Quite frankly, I think the arts are divine. And I think we're underutilizing a divine gift that God gives us, honestly. I think that the reason that they are powerful in the way that they are divine is I think they sort of shut down our defenses, right? There's something about the arts that allow people to get past whatever their preconceived notions are and just listen. Like if you and me get in an argument about something, we're just gonna go back and forth about it.
Right.
In an art piece, or we go to an art gallery, we might not agree on the way that we interpret that piece, but we at least are open to hear each other's ideas about how we're interpreting the piece. And I think that's what the arts does, unlike anything else. Like you're not gonna get that from a speech or a lecture or a sermon. The arts just has a way of telling everybody to chill out for a second. Let's watch something, let's listen to something, and then just let's just talk about how we see it differently. I put something up on my Facebook this morning. I wasn't even trying to kick nothing off, Kev. I said I had thoughts about the neo soul movement. Let me just put that. I said something about the neo soul, and people have been talking all day. And again, I think it's because we're talking about our ideas and our opinions, but we're talking about it through the lens of art. And I just think that's what art does. I think the reason you can tell stories and jokes, the reason Dave Chappelle can tell stories and jokes that have really serious matters at the heart of them.
Yeah.
People just sort of chill for a minute and just sort of take in the artwork, and then they'll talk about it.
I never thought about that in a sense. People have told me before that, I made them think. I remember I made a video. I've done some comedic and some serious, but I remember this one, I was like talking about how, it was about the kneeling issue. And I made this, sort of comedic piece, but I was, there's some truth in there.
Right.
And I remember talking about how the military wasn't, the flyovers weren't even a part of the thing, and it wasn't televised, and the defense fund and all this stuff. And I remember a white woman emailed me or DM'd me and was like, I don't think I've ever thought of this like that. And like, I follow you for comedy, and this was funny, but I think you really just, changed my mind on something, with your jokes. And I never thought about that being divine. But even like back in the day, the court jester was a very high, ranking person. And sometimes he'd be the only one that could talk to the king because he could get away with jokes. I think a lot of times, art reflects life, and it holds up a mirror to society and things like that. And it's very powerful. So I'm really glad. And to be honest, Michelle, I've never seen 12 Angry Men, any iteration of it at all. When you said it, I had to look it up. I thought it was a play. I was like, I saw this, and I saw it came out in 1957. I was like, I definitely did not see this. So, and especially because it's free, I'm gonna pull up and watch it.
You have to. Let me just say really quick, when I first started the Art of Tough Talks, which is now a program of Acts on Stage, we did one of our first performances at a college, and a young man, he was a 20-something-year-old white student, and we have very different political, theological, ideological ideas about the world, right? He watched this art piece, and like with his arms folded, like, I don't want to even see this, right? He watched it, and he hit me up months later and said he had a transformative moment sitting there,
Mm.
right? And he said, I'm not saying I agree with everything that you put on. He said, but when I watched it, my thought was, what if I'm wrong about some of the things I believe?
Right.
I'm wrong about some of the things I think. And he said that right there was the transformative moment. It wasn't that he had to agree
Yeah.
with everything my piece represented, but it made him think.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I think that happens more often than we ever think about.
And you were telling me that the actors range from 16 to 68 or 18 to 68?
18 to 68 years old.
18 to 68, all from Seattle, Tacoma area. What, I know that was an intentional choice. Why did you decide to have such a wide range of ages represented?
I mean, if you're going to have a cast of all Black men, then we want to run the scope, right? We want to run the range of what that might look, or at least what that might feel like. And so we wanted to have young energy in the room, and we wanted seasoned energy in the room. The oldest character is Ernest Henderson, out of Tacoma. You know,
I know him.
Mm-hmm.
That's up.
And this is right. And this is first, check this out. Not only do we range from 18 to 68, but we range from people who've been acting for 30 years to people like Ernest, where this is his very first time ever being in a show ever.
Really?
Yes. So we wanted an age range, we wanted a dynamics range, we wanted an experience range, and so that's what we got.
That's fantastic. I think, man, you over here giving me my little theater itch back.
Can I just tell you this? First of all, I am thankful for how we have worked together in theater before, because I've been a writer, producer, director for a long time. And you and Jason reached out to me, and Anthony reached out years ago and said, Michelle, can you come be in this play? And I was like, Kev, I really don't do stage anymore. And you were like, Michelle, you sing on stage every week. And I was like, oh yeah, I do. So I'm thankful for you, like, even shaking me back up. But I just think it's great that we have. Let me tell you this real quick.
Okay.
So I'm at university. I feel Jamaican because I feel like I've named a million jobs on this little thing. But I work at a university as well, and my boss is a white gentleman originally from Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him the other day I was doing an interview with you, and that we were friends. And he's like, I follow Kev on stage, and I was like, Kevin Fredericks. And he's like, yeah, Kev on stage. And the reason I'm saying that, Kev, is this is a white guy from Texas with a doctorate in educational systems and higher learning, right?
Right.
And for whatever reason, I was like, you follow Kev on stage, like on purpose? Yeah, I think he's funny. That's
hilarious. That's good to know. I'm happy to be making the rounds.
There you are. You are absolutely making the rounds. Keep up the work. Like I said to Jason, I was like, I know Kev, Kev has a lane that he's in, and you are occupying it well, my friend. But I also know you care about these other social issues.
Right.
We can't escape. I know you care about this stuff, and sometimes that might get missed in a joke here or there, but I know you care about this stuff.
Yes, you're absolutely right. I appreciate it. I'm glad to have chatted with you. And if you're watching, guys, I really want you to go to the website. Give me the website one more time, Michelle.
Axonstage.com is the website, and then you can watch the film on Sunday at 4:00 Pacific Standard Time at axonstage.com/12 Angry Men.
There you go, guys. Michelle, thank you so much for chatting with me, and congratulations on everything.
Thank you.
Look forward to checking this out. And just thank you for continuing to be, such a positive force in the community, locally in the Pacific Northwest, but now, globally by putting this on.
Thank you, my friend. Love you. Keep up the work.
All right. Good seeing you.
See you.
Bye.